Rain slammed against the glass doors of the luxurious hotel as Daniel Lawson stepped inside, shaking water from his hair. He had everything money could buy: success, respect, a name the world admired. But tonight, he felt painfully alone. Then he saw her, a young maid, soaked from the storm, struggling to push a cleaning cart with trembling hands. Her uniform clung to her small frame, her lips shivering from cold. She tried to hide it, tried to be invisible, but her body betrayed her. The manager snapped harshly, "Faster! We have VIPs everywhere tonight." She didn't fight back. She just lowered her head, like she was used to being treated like nothing. Daniel's heart tightened. Without a second thought, he walked to her and gently placed his expensive suit jacket over her shoulders. She froze. Nobody in her life had shown her kindness in a very long time. Thank you," she whispered, voice cracking with surprise. Daniel smiled softly. "You shouldn't have to suffer just to keep a job." She raised her eyes to him, and something in that look caught him. Recognition, fear, hope. But before he could ask, she whispered, "Do you remember my mother?" Daniel's blood ran cold. Her mother? How? Why? She placed a folded letter into his hand. Her fingers were shaking. "My mom told me to give this to you," she said. Daniel's heart pounded as he opened it, and his entire world shattered. The handwriting, the name, the truth he tried to bury. His voice broke. "What is your name?" She swallowed hard. "Emma," she said. "And you're my father." The jacket he gave her suddenly meant more than warmth. It meant home. If you're already feeling this, please subscribe, because the next moments will break and heal your heart. Hours before the rain. Hours before truth shattered the distance between them. Emma stood outside the staff entrance, hugging herself against the cold. Her shoes were soaked, soles worn thin. But she didn't care. She had slept under bridges, in shelters, sometimes on sidewalks. The world had never made room for her. Her mother used to say, "People like us survive storms. Rich people hide from them." Her mother, Isabel, the strongest woman Emma ever knew. The woman who raised her alone, with love but no answers. Emma never understood why they moved so much, why her mother always looked over her shoulder, why she destroyed every document with Emma's full name on it. One night, coughing through the pain of sickness she could no longer hide, Isabel finally told her the truth. "There is a man who needs to know you exist," she said weakly. "A man who once loved me, but the world wouldn't let us be together." Her voice trembled as she placed a folded letter in Emma's hands. "If anything happens to me," she whispered, "go to this hotel. Give this to him. He will know what to do." Emma never saw tears in her mother's eyes until that night. Tears of regret. Tears of love. Tears of goodbye. Weeks later, Isabel was gone. Emma's heart fractured into pieces too sharp to hold. With only the letter, a memory, and a last hope, Emma stepped into a world built by the man who left them behind. A world where she believed she didn't belong. But she wasn't searching for money. She wasn't searching for favors. She just wanted to know, why didn't he stay? Why didn't he choose us? Did he ever love her? Every step she took through that hotel felt like walking into a past she never lived. A past that finally noticed her. And as Daniel stared at her now, she saw the same shock, the same confusion, the same pain, reflecting back in his eyes. Daniel's breath shook in his chest as the truth echoed inside him. His daughter, the child he never knew existed, the life he lost without ever having a chance to love. "Emma," he whispered again, like saying her name might make this real. But she stepped back, unsure, scared, expecting rejection, not recognition. "It's okay," she said softly. "You don't have to pretend. I just needed you to know she loved you." She tried to turn away, ready to disappear as silently as she arrived. Daniel reached out, voice cracking. Wait, please. Emma froze. You look just like her, he admitted, eyes glistening. A tear slipped down Emma's cheek. She never stopped looking for you, Emma whispered. She told me you were kind, that you would have stayed if you knew about me. Daniel's chest tightened. He thought of Isabel, the love he lost to bad timing and cruel decisions. I would have, he said through trembling emotion. God, I would have. Emma didn't respond. She clutched her hands tight, like bracing for disappointment. But why didn't she come back? He asked softly. Emma's voice broke. Because someone powerful made sure she couldn't. Daniel's eyes widened. What do you mean? Emma swallowed hard. Your father. He paid her to disappear. The room spun beneath Daniel's feet. Before he could respond, a group of security guards appeared at the end of the hallway. There she is, one shouted. She was caught on the private floor. Bring her in. Emma went pale. No, please, she begged. Daniel stepped in front of her, voice booming. Touch her and you're all fired. The entire lobby went silent. Everyone stared. Because Daniel Lawson, the billionaire everyone feared, was now protecting the Maid, his daughter. And the real battle was just beginning. Daniel led Emma into his private office, the same place she had been accused of breaking into. But now, she wasn't a trespasser. She was the most important person in his world. Emma remained standing near the door, afraid to sit, afraid to breathe too loudly. I'm sorry about the guards, Daniel began, voice low. I had no idea. I should have found you. I should have known. Emma stared at the floor. You didn't know I existed, she whispered. You don't owe me anything. Daniel stepped closer. I owe you everything. Those words made her shoulders shake. Just a little. But then, the office doors swung open. Daniel's father, Richard Lawson, walked in with a cold stare that could freeze fire. Daniel, we need to talk. Now. His eyes cut sharply toward Emma. A flicker of disgust. Like she was dirt on a marble floor. Emma instinctively shrank back. Daniel positioned himself between them. Don't look at her like that. Richard's jaw tightened. I told you years ago, that woman was a distraction. She wasn't right for you. She was beneath us. Emma flinched, tears welling. Daniel snapped. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. And she's gone because of you. Richard didn't deny it. Good, he muttered. I did what was necessary. She would have ruined this family. Just like that girl will. Emma gasped quietly. That girl, Daniel grounded out, is my daughter. Richard laughed. Dry and cruel. Do you have proof? Anyone could claim that. Emma's breathing hitched. She reached into her pocket and slowly revealed a folded letter. My mother wrote this, she whispered, voice shaking. Your son's name is right here. Daniel's fingers trembled as he unfolded the paper and saw his name in her mother's handwriting. His throat closed. This was real. Every stolen year, every missed birthday, every moment she deserved but never got. Because of him. Because of Richard. Daniel's grief turned to fire. I won't let you hurt her too, Daniel said, stepping closer to his father, voice steady with rage. Emma stays. With me. Richard's eyes darkened. If she stays, he leaned forward, venom thick in his tone. You lose everything. Daniel didn't hesitate. Then take everything. Emma's eyes widened in shock. For the first time since she entered this building, someone chose her. And it wasn't just anyone. It was her father. She pressed a hand to her mouth as a sob escaped. Soft, but powerful. The rain outside thundered against the glass as if the sky itself was cheering him on. But deep inside Emma, fear still lingered. Because love comes with risk. And she had just become the biggest threat to a billionaire empire. That night, The hotel was silent, except for the storm outside. Richard stormed out of the office, leaving behind a silence so heavy it hurt to breathe. Emma wiped her cheeks quickly, embarrassed she had cried. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For what?" Daniel asked gently. "For ruining your life in one night." He stepped closer, slowly, giving her time. "You didn't ruin my life, Emma. You gave it meaning." Her breath caught. She wasn't used to kindness. Kindness always demanded something in return. But Daniel just looked at her like she mattered. Suddenly, the office phone buzzed harshly. Daniel hesitated before answering. "What is it?" he asked. His assistant's trembling voice came through the line. "It's about Emma's mother." Emma felt her heart stumble. "What about her?" Daniel demanded. She didn't die from illness." A heavy pause. "She was pushed out of this company." Emma's knees grew weak. Daniel gripped the desk. "Richard's doing." "Of course it was." The assistant continued. "There are files, documents your father tried to erase. Your mother was promised a future here, until she became pregnant. He threatened her career. Unless she left you." Emma's vision blurred. "So he forced her to disappear?" Daniel swallowed hard, eyes filling with fire and regret. "He didn't just take you from me," his voice cracked. "He took her too." Emma hugged herself, trying not to shatter. She whispered, barely a breath. "She died thinking she wasn't enough." Daniel moved to her side, slowly, like approaching a wild, wounded creature. He placed his hand over hers. "Your mother was more than enough. You are more than enough." Then something happened that neither expected. Emma leaned into him, gently, her forehead resting against his chest. For the first time in her life, she allowed herself to feel safe. "Daniel," she whispered, voice trembling, "I don't know how to be someone's daughter." He lifted her chin so she would see the truth in his eyes. "You already are." Emma's tears fell freely, grief and healing wrapped together as one. Daniel brushed a tear from her cheek. "I missed everything," he whispered. "Your first steps, your first day of school, your whole childhood." He paused. "But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere." Emma searched his expression. Was this real? Could she trust a man who just learned she existed? Then Daniel carefully removed the gold cufflink from his wrist, the one his mother gave him before she died, and placed it in her palm. "I don't have the right words," he said, voice thick with emotion. "So, let me show you." Emma looked at the cufflink, then at him. She didn't say a word, because sometimes the heart doesn't speak through lips, it speaks through tears. And hers were screaming. The storm outside was finally beginning to calm. But inside this room, a new storm of truth, love, and war was only beginning. Morning sunlight poured over the skyline, soft, golden, warm. Emma woke in a guest suite, not just any suite, the one next to Daniel's. She sat up slowly, wrapped in a blanket so soft she felt like she had borrowed comfort itself. Yesterday felt unreal. A father found. A future changed. A truth uncovered. But a voice in her head whispered, "Don't get used to this." Emma stepped out into the hallway, clutching the cufflink he gave her, a tiny piece of love she still wasn't sure she deserved. She found Daniel standing on the balcony outside his office, phone pressed to his ear. He sounded angry. "No, she's not leaving," he said sharply. "I don't care what the board thinks. She's my daughter." Emma froze. She shouldn't overhear this. But every word cracked her open a little more. "I would give up the entire Lawson empire," Daniel continued, "before I lose her again." Her breath hitched. He meant it. He wasn't choosing his power. He wasn't choosing wealth. He was choosing her. He hung up and turned, his eyes widening when he saw her. "You heard that," he asked gently. Emma nodded. Why would you? Her voice shook. Why would you give up everything for me? Daniel stepped close. No hesitation. Because everything I have means nothing if I can't call you my family. Those words, they were the home she never had. Emma's tears came before she could stop them. Daniel pulled her into a careful embrace. She melted into it. And that's when he said, "Come with me." He took her to the hotel's private dining hall, transformed overnight. Her mother's favorite flowers lined the room. Soft guitar music played her favorite melody. A chair decorated with a small, framed photo. Her mom. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. I wanted her to be here, Daniel whispered. And she is. In you. Emma broke. Not from pain this time. From healing. Daniel then knelt. Not like a proposal, but like a promise. I can't replace what you've lost. But if you'll let me, I want to be there for everything you haven't had yet. Emma couldn't speak. She could only nod, crying into his shoulder. The staff entered quietly. People who once barked orders, now bowing their heads in respect. Because this wasn't a maid anymore. This was the future of the Lawson name. Richard watched from the doorway, pride and regret battling in his eyes. He didn't approach. He didn't deserve to. Emma took a deep, trembling breath. For the first time in her life, she wasn't invisible. She wasn't unwanted. She wasn't alone. She was home. And as the storm clouds fully cleared, a new family, broken but rebuilding, chose each other. Together. Forever. If this story wrapped around your heart, don't leave with your eyes dry. Hit subscribe, and come watch the next SoulTwist story.